Yeah, shall we officially start?
Shall we?
Shall we officially start? Okay, so introduce yourself.
Hi, so I'm John from Dammit Records, and a real pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for asking us. I do apologise. The other two are unable to make it. I'm sorry, um, but you've got me, so hopefully I'll do.
Oh, you'll do. You'll do, John. So, can you tell us the concept and the story behind Dammit Records?
Yeah, sure. Um, it wasn't a deliberate one, to be honest. It was what me and Nick were in bands years and years ago. And we had breaks, and then we kind of met up to form a band in 2019, I think it was, perhaps a bit before, and we worked together on different a couple of bands we worked together on, and then COVID hit, which kind of was a good thing for music industry because it kind of like generated lots of um, at home recordings and all sorts of writing and all that sort of thing. But um, after the COVID kind of left us and we was allowed to go everywhere, as a band, we kind of we tried to approach various different record labels and promoters and everything else. We didn't get anywhere. We thought, well, why don't we generate our own label? At least that'd get us our band kind of out there, as it were, and be heard. And I had the technical know-how. Nick had the contacts and all the various different also contacts and emails and everything else. And he was particularly good with media, socials, and that sort of thing. So we kind of like decided to do it ourselves, and we formed Dammit Records. And initially, it was only for our band, and so we'd released a couple of albums from our own band, and we decided to go out in the wide world and had such a response because there were tons of bands out there. I only had like recorded like one or two tracks from the studio, and that wasn't good enough to put out an album or anything. But we were the platform that they could come to, and we could put out their track on our Damnations, which we kind of invented at the same time, or not long after we formed the Dammit Record. So we had such a response from bands from across the world who only had one track, two tracks, or whatever, and we just combined them all and put out a monthly Damnations, and it we was just amazed at how many people there were who came to us, and it really did work to such an extent that our kind of bands all slipped down um, to the sideline a little bit, and we concentrated on other bands because uh, we sort of like felt really privileged as well because some of the music that we was getting in was fantastic, really good stuff, and stuff that the world should be able to hear. So and we did. We put them out as monthly Damnations releases, and that's how it all started really. Then came bands who said, "Well, we have got an album of material. Can you put that out?" So we put out CDs and albums, and it sort of steadily progressed. So I mean, the Dammit Records formed in January 21, and so we've been going so 4 years, 5 years nearly. So um, and it's sort of like been steadily progressing and steadily growing. Nick is the one with the ideas, and I'm with the know-how. So quite comical because Nick says, "Why don't we just, and then gives me an idea or gives us an idea, and then I have to deal with it and make it happen." And that's that how because initially Damnations was a subscription type thing, but we opened it up to public soon. After about 2 years, we opened it up to the public, and then he said, "Oh, why don't we do a podcast?" So oh, all right, and we'll do that then, So various little things along the way, and then it's like, oh, Nick says, oh, why don't we manage bands? Oh, all right, then let's manage a band, you know. And it's sort of, we've got 3 bands now that we've actually managed. So it's sort of progression all the time, and exciting times really. It's a lot of work, I have to say. It's a lot of work. We all do it part time. We don't get any money for it. It's not. We both, all of us, actually work full time in other jobs. This is purely a hobby. And then Nick said, "Oh, why don't we recruit someone else to help us out of the admin?" So then we did that. We did interviews and advertised for an intern sort of thing. And Emma came along, and we were really pleased with her. It was really brilliant. She's got so much enthusiasm, put so much work in, and yeah, it's really rewarding as well.
So what bands were you in before? Because I remember Nick. I'm sure I've played with Nick's band before.
Yeah. So well, Nick's kind of like, as far as I was aware, he's been in a few. We've all been in a few. So Nick was in Snide. He created Snide, and I think he created it in the UK, and then went to Spain, took it to Spain, or the other way around. I can't remember. And he brought it back to the UK. And Snide had been around for donkey's years. I think Snide started out. Oh no, so he had another band before that in Southend, I think.
Oh, what was the band called?
Allegiance to No One.
Okay, that was in Southend. When was that?
Yeah, all 80s, early 80s.
Okay.
And I'll tell you a little bit of a coincidence there as well. But so I'll tell you now. So I was in a band called Violent Death. It's about the same time, and I've always been in Medway, Gravesend area, south of the Thames. And we didn't know each other then. We didn't know anything about each other. We didn't know each other's bands or anything like that. And it wasn't until, I think, last year or a year before, we came across a really old magazine that highlighted up-and-coming bands that was produced in the 80s. And on the same page, we had Nick's band and we had my band. How's that? On the same page, column by column, next to each other. It's just pure, like, it's just, you know, you think, God, you couldn't write that, could you?
No, you couldn't. It's a small world, it really is with punk. It's everybody's connected in some way.
It is. Well, then, when we got together, we formed Perjury, and that's now gone by the by. Snide's gone by the by as well, but we formed Perjury, and then he left, and then we also formed Cato Street Conspiracy. I don't know if you heard of them.
Yeah.
But we produced 2 albums, 1 EP, and the second album was on a vinyl. And then we formed a covers band, and then we formed a virtual hidden band as well called the Cribs. Not the famous Cribs, but the Cribs. And so I think, it's another little story. So on my 60th birthday, which was last year, was it last year? No, year before last. I wanted to play in all the bands on my party because I don't do parties. But I was in 5 bands at that time, and we had every single band on for my party. That was brilliant. So I played all night. Didn't get to socialise much, but yeah. So I was in 5 bands, and Nick has been in similar sort of. He was probably in 4 of those bands, if not all of them. Very productive time, very hard work. A lot of time was spent in rehearsals and gigging and everything else. And then after that time, about last year, I think it was, that on Cato, our singer became ill, so he couldn't make it anymore. Our drummer retired from drumming, and we kind of like didn't carry it on really, because Dammit Records has taken over our lives. We just don't have the time or energy to do anything else at the moment. So that's where we are.
Well, you never know.
You never know, do you? Never say no.
Because I'd retired. I was in a band called the Lost Cherries.
Yeah.
So I was in the Lost Cherries. About a year or so ago, I left, and I was like, right, that's it now. Doing no more. And last Saturday, I played a gig.
Ah.
Yeah, my first.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So it's lit your fuse, isn't it? You know,
It has lit the
it's
fuse. Everyone
yeah,
was like,
because
"Oh, you should do it again, Marie," and I was like, "No, that's it now. I'm doing the podcast."
yeah,
Next thing I know, I'm up on stage. I was supposed to go with
yeah,
two other people, but I ended up going up on my own and doing an acoustic thing. So
right.
yeah,
I mean, it's weird because at the moment I don't see me doing any live band stuff, but like I do miss it, and it will only take like yourself, it'll only take me like a little invite to something to do something, and then I'll be on it again. So I think like when I play guitar, my fingers are just not leathered up anymore. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
you'd have to take a long time to kind of get used to it again.
Yeah, that happened to me because I didn't play bass for about, I'd say a good 10, 15 years. And about a year ago, I just left Lost Cherries. And somebody asked me to play bass for them. And my bass guitar had been like sat in a corner for years. It had like strings missing, and the
Yeah.
cats had been chewing it. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, then I'll give it a go. And it got me started again. But my
Yeah.
fingers, I had to like build myself up again.
Yeah, it does. They need to harden up, don't they, your fingertips? And I'm at a stage where I really do need to play more. In fact, we had a conversation, me and the fact that what are we going to do? And I said, well, I wouldn't mind recording it. Like, I'm the technical guy, so I love recording, and I love mixing, and I love mastering and all that sort of thing. And I just like creating sounds and music, and I'd love to get back into that and find the time to do that again. And there will be times when I can do that. When I've finished putting the flat pack furniture together and doing up my house and painting the walls. When that's done, I should be back on it.
Have you just moved? I take it.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Traditionally, it takes me about 10 or 15 years to finish a house from start to finish, and then when I finish, I've got to start where I've started off again. So, yeah. No, I've been here a while, but there's things that I want to get on and crack on with and do while I can, because we're all getting older,
Yeah.
But at the moment, I've got all my strength and energy, so I can do it. But yeah, so one day I'm gonna get back on the recording and create some music.
Yeah. The bands that are on the label, do you do the recording, or do they come to you with their recordings, or is it a bit of both?
It's 98% of them coming to us already recorded. We have recorded a couple of bands because they were very local, but generally they come to us already recorded. We do master all our tracks that go out and release. Now, sometimes that might just mean a bit of leveling or a bit of gaining just to get to the right medium, whether it's CD or download or whatever. And other times it might be just a little bit more. Sometimes we go back to bands and say, can we just can you bring down the drums a little bit, or ask them to do it on their recording, on their studio that they use. Other times we've actually borrowed the stems and remixed it for them. So there's a bit of a mixture, but we don't generally record for them, no. But we can.
I mean, would you ever take recordings that have been done on GarageBand and then mix them, or is that too DIY?
Well, we can do, yeah. It's not a problem. There's been a few garage bands that have approached, have given us tracks recently that are kind of like in mono, and I know that the garage type of bands tend to record in mono as well. So I don't particularly like mono. I like a little bit of balance between the ears, and some bands hadn't realised, and so we've given them advice, and they're going to come back with proper balanced tracks, and others say no, that's what it is. It's when it's in mono, and that's what it is. So it depends on it. We don't over suggest to bands what they should be doing because they're the artist. We just sort of bring out the best in the artist, really.
Okay. So that's good. I mean, I like it. I like the whole DIY ethos behind what you do. And this is why, I approached you guys, for the compilation.
Yeah.
And Protected Paws are really into it as well. I don't know how much money we're going to make for them. I really don't. But just getting it out there, and maybe even like a donation as well to like any of the marketing stuff we do, so people can donate if they want to, or if they're able to.
Well, we've done it before. We did a single with one of our bands at Cribs, and we created a like fund me thing, and we did CDs, and we raised a few £100. But I mean, that's a lot more than nothing. And we did it for the local food bank, and it was quite surprisingly very successful. It's not thousands of pounds, but it's a few hundred, and that'd be great. Now, this one might be even more.
Yeah,
you never know. So,
I mean, what time of year was that? The food bank one.
What time of the year, or what year?
Yeah, time of the year.
I think it was Christmas, and it was 2 years ago.
Okay.
It was only a single though, So now you've got a 16-track compilation, so you have to pay a bit more, aren't they? But we're only a DIY, we're not a commercial outfit, so a bit different there. We normally send it to a load of people. We send it across the world. We are at different radio stations, that is, and we send it to magazines all over the world. Not the CD necessarily, but and then we do like a little launch party as well on Bandcamp. We invite loads of people in, and they can hear the tracks for the first time in completion just prior to launch. We have like a pre-sales as well. So yeah, we try and do that in a steady time. We'll even get a video out as well. We've got this one of our great. You must know, but one of our general, apart from this compilation we're doing together, but one of our policies is the fact that we only release stuff that's never been released before, and that's what our customers and our fans and our radio stations want, unfortunately, and it's something that we're quite proud of, and we don't put anything out that's been out before. And some bands even try it on a bit, and they say, "Oh, this has not been released," and I'm the best Googler there is ever, right? So I can find anything out in the world. I will find it, and yeah, there's been a few that I've found, and it's been released on SoundCloud or mixtape or whatever. It's been out there, and we can't accept it, and it's just our policy that we stick to.
Even if it's been, like a video of you playing it live somewhere, would that count?
No, live's different. So this is purely for recorded stuff.
Okay.
A studio recorded release. So bands will play live anyway, won't they? They play it live, and they've been probably playing it live for the last 3 or 4 years before they recorded it. That's fine. We've got no problem with playing it live. That doesn't get included. So, I mean, just on that note, we've December, which comes out in a few days' time. December Damnations is full of live tracks. We've got 25 live tracks coming out, and they've all been released because it's live. We're just doing a live one-off. We do it every December, and we don't mind the odd occasion like that because it's live. You know what I mean? It's not a recorded, studio recorded song, so we don't mind that. But everything else that we release, whether it's an album, Damnations, and that, it cannot be recorded. It cannot be released anywhere in the world. So, yeah, and that's you know, we've had to turn bands down, and bands also said, well, that's no good then. But that's what our fans and what the radio stations that we send to, that's what they want. And we're going to stick to that.
So you got to give people what they want as well, if that's the demand for
Well,
it.
yeah, I mean, it's a little, you know, it's kind of niche, and it's something we're really proud of. We've done it from the start, and we'll continue to do it. And when we say we're releasing the next Damnations, and it's tracks that you've never heard of ever before, we mean it, and it is true. You know, we've never heard it before. Obviously, it doesn't include live, but yeah. So we're proud of that, and we'll stick to it.
So the live showcases you do, it's not just online. You go to venues and you put on, you showcase the bands that you promote and you record or you work with.
Now, so yeah, the showcases is another one of Lick's. Why don't we just try this? And honestly, and so the showcases was started out because we wanted to bring the bands that we put out, we've released, and put on a gig for them. A couple of them a year, something like that. That's how it started, and they were quite very successful. They loved it, and it sort of progressed from there. And we've done it for about 3-4 years now. And I think last year we've said never again. Too much hassle. It doesn't work. We don't get, you know, we hardly get paid for our expenses, let alone have to pay the bands as well. You know what I mean? Which they don't get paid, and nobody gets paid anything. And we've also seen a decline in gigs generally. The spectators coming. It's just a dying thing. But so last year we said no, that's it, never again. But lo and behold, we're hosting some more showcases next year in the spring. Yeah.
Where do you host them?
Anywhere. At the moment, we're looking at Birmingham, Wales. There might be some in the southwest. Scotland, we might be trying. Gateshead. Yeah, all over the country.
Nice. So like the
Yeah.
tour, Dammit Records tour.
Yeah, it's like a Dammit Records tour. They're mainly for bands that we feature on Dammit Records. Gives them a chance to sort of get together and play together. Some of the bands travel far afield these days as well because they want to try London or wherever, you know. So we're getting bands from up north to travel all the way to London just to play in our showcases. It's enjoyable, really, really satisfying and enjoyable to do. A lot of work, a lot of travelling. As I say, we don't get anything from it. We pay out because we've got to stay over and travel and everything else. But that's great to see all the bands together, and it's also great to see bands that have never met before gone to the same showcases and played and got together themselves, and they're now friends. You know,
Oh, I like
it's
that
really
sort of
yeah,
thing.
it's really
Yeah.
good. Mm.
I love seeing that happening, people coming together and like making
Yeah,
contacts and friendships and stuff. I think that's really cool.
and it does. We've seen that happen a lot, definitely. Yeah. And occasionally we invite guest bands who we haven't featured. It depends on what the lineup is and where it is and that sort of thing. But yeah, we're going to try it again next year. And I've said to Nick that is the last time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just asking for a friend, right?
Right.
Do you have any? Do you do any like acousticy sort of folk punk acts? Do you have them on the bills at all?
No, we don't generally. I'm afraid.
Oh,
Yeah, no. I think I'm trying to think back. I think we've arranged a gig quite locally that one years and years ago that had acoustic um, guitarist on first. But I'll be honest, it was kind of like desperation on our front.
yeah.
Yeah, no, we don't really go for acoustic stuff now.
Oh, why
I
is
do
that? Is
quite.
it just a personal preference, or is it?
I think so. I think so. I think because um, me and Nick are kind of similar minded. We like a bit of proper full electric plugged in stuff. You know what I mean? So it's what we kind of like. But you never know. You know, you never know. Never say no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll let my friend know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just I might be unconscious biasing or something, but it just they always seem to be the first people on at a show, and you think, oh, they're just opening up the show. Do you know what I mean? And then you
Yeah,
get the real bands afterwards, and we'd rather sort of jump in with the real bands.
yeah.
Really. Sorry.
So you didn't like the pukes and all the acoustic ukuleles? No.
No, not for me. Not for me. But some people like it, and some people don't. I mean, there's some funny stories about like because we have bands come to us all the time, different genres. I mean, as you know, even in the punk world, there's different genres, different types. And we quite often, I'd say, yeah. And they'd go, nah, don't like it. I go, yeah, and I'll go, nah, I don't like it. And they go, yeah, I like that. So, like, and now Emma's joined us. It's now a fair vote. You know what I mean? It's two against one always, or unless it's 3-0, of course. But so yeah, it's weird. People have different opinions of different sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also we're also conscious of what we're trying. Not only do we sort of say, well, I like that, or perhaps the other way, I don't like that. But what would our fans think? What would the public think? Would they like that or not? And it's really hard to put yourself into their shoes or their ears. You know what I mean? Um, because I don't like it doesn't mean to say that somebody else won't. And you've got to be, a little bit careful sometimes. I mean, personally, because I'm technically minded, I kind of base it on how kind of good it is recorded and how well it's been made, or um, sort of what's the production like. I shouldn't be like that, but I kind of do because that's the way I am. I'm technical, so. But there are quite a few bands that are horribly recorded, but I've gone, God, you know what? That's a good song, and that's brilliant as well. So we have to be careful on what we choose to go on.
You seem quite open to acts, but you're very selective with what you get.
I wouldn't like to say we're that selective, although it's hard, isn't it? Because here's an example. I don't like ska at all. I don't like ska. Never have done. But we put them out because we know the public will like it. We know our fans will like it. And generally speaking, Nick and Emma like it. But you know what I mean? I can't allow it to happen. We are open to most genres. We're punk at heart, aren't we? You know what I mean? So, like, me and Nick have both been in punk bands, and we know what we like, and we think we know what the fans and our customers like. Hopefully, no, it's really weird. It is really weird. You get some band, we get a track from a band, you think, oh, it's brilliant, great, put them on Damnations, brilliant, fantastic, can't wait for the next one. And we get the next one, it's like, oh dear, it's awful. Like, what can you say to the guys? You just say, sorry, it's not really suitable this time. Um, and but also that's balanced out by other bands that come to us, and we go, yeah, it's all right, we'll put it out because we know they're trying. It's not too bad. And then the next one just blows our mind away. It's just like, wow. And then the next one's even better.
Yeah.
It's you can see them developing it and getting better and better, which is great. I love that. I love that. It still amazes me and Nick actually. Like the stuff we get is just amazes us what's out there in the world. We'd never ever get to hear it otherwise. And there's so many talented people out there, and we're very privileged to be able to hear it.
Yeah, and you can meet so many people. Do you know what?
Mm.
Doing this podcast, it's like the social network, and new bands and music and new people. So many have come into my life through
Yeah,
this.
I bet. Yeah.
and I love it. I really love it.
Yeah.
I won't
Yeah.
change it. Because I was stuck in
Well,
like a little box for a long time. I was in the Lost Cherries for 12 years. And I just felt like I didn't get out of that little scene, and the band. I did gigs, but I didn't broaden my circle like it's been broadened these past few months. I think it's
that's good.
brilliant.
Yeah. Well, Nick's the social guy, so he's the guy that kind of broadens himself, and he knows everybody. He knows all the punk bands from years ago. He knows everybody from anybody. You know what I mean? So I'm not. I'm perhaps as you were. I'm the one who sort of kind of likes my own station, and I know I do the technical stuff, and it's good. Like coincidences and people meeting each other, like you said before, and it's like, wow, so and so, and you sort of like get a network, don't you? Like on our podcast, we've said it's a community now. It's very rewarding. Rewarding.
Oh, definitely. So being in a band's great, but I just think when you step out of that, you do stuff like the podcast and the label, it just sounds like you just experience so much more, and you meet so many more people, and
we're humbled. We really are. The people who contact us, and we love it. Almost makes you cry.
So where did your punk journey begin? And what got you into punk in the first place? Where did it all start?
Who, me?
Yeah, for you. Yeah.
Crikey. I suppose it was when I was 13, 14, I guess. I was into Sex Pistols, John Peel. Used to listen to John Peel every night. Used to do tape recording with me and a little tape deck and push play and record at the same time. Did all that. And then friends at school were kind of like, you kind of get to know your friends with similar tastes. And there was literally four of us who got together and formed that band, and it was called Unit 4. And nobody had any instruments, but we just liked being together and listening to the same music and that sort of thing. And one day we was going to be rich and famous and we're in a band. I was the one who bought a guitar first, I think, and started doing some silly songs and stuff. And then one of my mates mates at the time bought a drum kit actually. So we had drums and we had a guitar, and that was it. But obviously it didn't go very far. But it was a good learning curve as to what a band's all about and getting together as friends and as a band. Yeah, that didn't last too long. Another mate of mine joined a band called Violent Death. They were going for a year or two, and their singer quit or something, and they asked me to join. So I joined them, and I was a lead singer and lead guitarist of Violent Death for a couple of years. So that's kind of how I started, really. I was in two bands at that time as well. I was also in a school band that played like Beatles covers and that sort of thing. After that, went to college and then met girls, and then it all went to pot and didn't do anything as far as band goes. And then I started doing my own stuff and I got Cubase and started recording my own stuff in my bedroom sort of thing. And that's what's really got me back together again with myself, you know what I mean, creating music. A few years passed, and then I thought, well, I definitely need to gig again. I need to be in a band again. And then that's when me and Nick got together. And yeah, the rest is history. When you read back on the old bands of yesteryear and where they come from, you think, bloody hell, they only live down the road.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. You never realise what a small country we live in, really.
No, you don't. I mean, Cherry B, I've sent you one of her poems because there's some poetry on there. I thought it'd be nice to open it up, the compilation. And she's only down the road from me.
Right.
Yeah, I've been living across town for like a few years now. Didn't even realise. Now I'm constantly round there. So we did a gig together this Saturday. Right. I'll tell you something, right? For all the years of gigging, I've never got off stage and then absolutely shit myself. Not like literally, but I was shaking after I got off stage. I thought,
Really?
what is that? I couldn't even open my purse to get a drink.
Right.
Somebody had to buy me a drink. It wasn't a ploy. I was just shaking so much I couldn't work my phone. It took me about 20-30 minutes just, calm down after doing that. It was
Was that
intense.
from the adrenaline, you think?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I'm used to doing like hardcore and really fast stuff. That could be it. And I'm so used to jumping about. But then I was up there on my own, which I've not done in a very, very long time. And then there's like Steve Druitt watching me, and there's like Steve White and the Protest Band. So like there was no pressure.
Right.
I thought, oh God, I can't fuck up in front of them. I can't.
No. It's weird though, isn't it? It's funny because when you jump up on stage, it takes over, doesn't it? And you just do what you got to do, and then it's only when you stop you think, what have I just done?
I mean, with like the other bands, like with the Cherries and like with the Pukes and like there's another band I was in based in Southend, and I just jump about and go mad, and I guess maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just didn't have. I had the adrenaline, but I didn't have anywhere to put it. Maybe. Very strange. You ever had that?
No. I think it's best and worst. I think I've come off stage before and it's been totally flat, and you think, right. And it felt kind of depressing. Whether that's because I enjoyed myself on stage and come off and it was just nothing there. And other times I've come off and people would come up for ages talking to you, shaking your hand and everything else, and you kind of never come down from being on stage until the last person shook your hand. You know what I mean? So it extended it a little bit. So. But I've never gone into kind of like a panic mode or such as what you did.
Afterwards. I mean, before I could understand. I've never had anything like it. That was really, that was something else. That was. What would you say was your proudest moments with Dammit, with the band, with anything? Your proudest moments, do you think?
I think with Dammit. I think I've mentioned it before. The proudest moments are when you get a lot of appreciation for what you do. In respect of like, we put a post out and we get so much incoming emails or requests about putting tracks on or wanting to be on the showcase or whatever, and it's just like, whoa, because sometimes we do all this work and you get kind of no feedback, nothing back, and you think, well, like your podcast just sounds like it's a bit better than ours in terms of recognition and such. That we do a podcast and it's like it goes out on 2 radio stations. And then it goes out publicly on different domains like normal. And we don't get any feedback. Like nobody writes, nobody says anything. Nobody, like, we don't know if we're doing anything right, wrong, or whatever. And but on the odd occasions, you get like, actually today we got a message from a fan, if you like, who said, really love the new podcast with Emma in it, and I laughed out loud quite a few times, and it's really like, whoa, really? Okay, that's brilliant, thanks. Like, so people are listening. I've done a bit of digging about, and we get over 100 people probably across different mediums and networks that actually listen, and that's quite humbling and quite nice to know. And it never diminishes. It never reduces. It's always kind of like steady and maybe steadily increasing, but not by much. So that's quite a proud thing. But also for me personally, is when a band trusts us to put on their tracks on an album, that's, you know, like they've paid out really good money. They've gone to a studio. They've worked really, really hard to get some songs and tracks recorded. And then they come to us and go, can you put the CD out for us? And that's, you know, that's so rewarding. And we're personally, I'm really humble. You know, we take their art and we put it together and we release an album out. And it's just, it's magical. And they trust us to do that. And the feedback we get is that they're really happy with it. No complaints. We've not had any complaints at all since we started, and everything's good. And that's really proud. Yeah, I'm really proud of that. You know, we're not we do it DIY. We do it for nothing, but we're not cheapskates. We know what we're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
it does.
You know, we've got a lot of experience between us, and we make the right decisions, and we do the right thing, and brilliant, it works.
What's your biggest regret following that?
Biggest regret? I don't have regrets. If I had regrets, I wouldn't have done it in the first place.
That's a good way of putting that.
Yeah, I don't know. We do think hard about certain things, like the showcases. Is that ever a good idea? I think so. Do we gain a lot out of it? Personally, like as a record label, we don't really. Do the bands gain out of it? Yes. Well, then that makes it all worthwhile. Do we earn money? No. We have to pay out, and showcases is very expensive, as you know, in the gig world. You know, we've got to pay for sound man, we've got to pay for the venue, we've got to pay to get there, and sometimes the band go, well, where's our bit? And there ain't anything. And I suppose regrets. So it's a shame that more people don't go and visit bands to play live. And I know I'm shifting the regret blame over to other people, but people just don't want to go out and look at live bands anymore, and it's just a shame. So yeah, that's my regrets, is that we couldn't be more successful as such.
Is that for the live stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. For the live band, for the live showcases. I mean, everything we do, we pump back into the band. So we're not after any money or earnings or anything. Everything we do, like I say, it goes back. Even Damnations, we put it out monthly. We sell the download, and they can buy an individual track for 50p, or the whole album for £4. It's nothing, is it? But all that goes back to the bands who supplied the tracks, equally shared. We don't gain anything from that. We don't want to. It's just like, you know, it's just kind of letting people know where that money goes and why we sell it, because people could quite easily say, well, why don't you just give it away? Can't really do that, because the band's put in a lot of time and effort to give us the tracks, and they deserve a little bit, and it is only a little bit, man. You know, they get a few pence. So, but it's bigger than the main streamers. So, yeah. Regrets. I'm a bit. Yeah, as I said now, I don't really have any big regrets, because I wouldn't have done it in the first place. Yeah, that's it really.
I was going to say, what would Nick and Emma say about regrets? But I guess you can't speak for them, would they?
I'm trying to think. Well, I suppose the obvious one is, why didn't we do this earlier?
Yeah.
Because I mean, if I knew now what I knew when I was young, I would have done it yonks ago.
Oh yeah.
And that includes playing in bands. That would have having the energy and guts to do what I'm doing now, because we would have been that much more advanced, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. It is hard. I don't know if you're from a working class background. That that'd probably be a bit of a personal question, though, isn't it? Because I mean, I'm from a working class background. I'm from the north of England, and it's not easy, is it? When you've got like when you like your parents work in a factory and stuff like that, you know, and you go, oh, I'm just going to do music and join a band. It's just like
Oh, yeah, you say that to your parents and they go, don't be daft. Go down the old job centre. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I've been in job centres. I've done the worst jobs of my life. I've cleaned loos. I've done road sweeping. I've done a lot. I've sat in factories doing plastic mouldings all day. It's things you do, isn't it, to get by.
Yeah. You've done it alongside when you try to do that alongside, you know, finding out who you are and try to be creative and be. It's hard, isn't it? It's not.
It is hard, yeah.
It's very hard.
Yeah, because you want to create, you want to be in bands, and because that's your dream, which was my dream. But you can only do it on a Sunday afternoon because on Monday I go back to work. Yeah. I do envy. That's one of the biggest envious things. Like these big bands back in the day that the record label used to own the band, and they go, right, okay, we want another album out from you, so here's like a month in the studio, go and create something. God, it's like a dream, isn't it? It's like, wow, just for them it wasn't a dream because it's hard work and it's not easy to create music, especially on demand. But yeah, that must have been kind of quite a nice life. Yeah. Going to the studio all day.
It's it's I respect anybody who goes out to work all day, no matter what they do, and they come home in the evening and they start recording or they start practicing and they start, like doing like yourselves, marketing and promoting and organising and meetings, and you do it over the weekend. That's a lot. That's an awful lot. But we still get up and we still do these things.
That's exactly what life is like at the moment for us. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you just you're probably you're the same. But I spend far too much time on the laptop when I get home from work. I might have a little snooze before I get out here because I'm getting old. But yeah, everything comes in. I mean, I'm at work and I see the emails coming in, but I can't react to them until I'm home because I like to use my laptop for emails. But I spend an hour just replying to emails every night, and that's without the production for the Damnations, without albums, without the scheduling we've got to do. Do you know what I mean? Without podcasts, and as you know, it takes a long time to edit podcasts.
Oh, it does. You do get into. I've noticed I've started to get into my stride a bit more. Like I know I'm a bit more quicker than I was, especially a few months ago. It's like flipping heck. It did. I learned. I just learned as I went along, and
yeah, we all do that. Yeah, I mean, I think we're on 41st podcast I've just edited.
Nice.
It's monthly though, so it's but yeah, after a while you kind of get to know and you've got to try and make it flow and kind of try and make it interesting, and then I'll try and be clever and like have the music start before we announce it, that sort of thing. So, but yeah, I enjoy doing it, but it can take 2 or 3 evenings to edit.
Oh yeah. Is there anything you'd like to say? Anything you'd like to promote whilst you're here? Any new releases you've got coming up? Obviously, you've got an awesome compilation that's coming out.
Haven't we? Like next year?
Yeah, next year.
January, we've got a compilation. Brilliant. And it's all for charity. Protected Paws. And no, that's good. You go over to our Bandcamp site, you will notice that we've just released a live Damnations, which is very unusual. We only do it once a year. 25 for 25, we're kind of calling it, which is 25 tracks for the year 2025. And we asked for bands to send in their live performances, and they're cracking. They're really good. They're they've been released. They might have been released out in the world, but we sort of said don't care. So bring in your live recordings, and they've done that. So we've got 25 tracks on our Damnations for December. So have a listen to that. It's like 50p a track and £4 for the whole thing. Brilliant. I mean, you can't get a beer for £4 these days, but you can get 25 tracks. So that's what we've got going on at the moment. We're already full up for January's Damnations, and we're filling up February quite fast. So end of this year, starting next year, things are really progressing quite well. We've got a lot of tracks coming in, a lot of bands are contacting us, so really happy to see that. We also put out a ask for bands who wanted to put out albums, and it's just gone mad. We've got so many bands who want to put out albums next year, so watch this space.
Oh, you know what? Thank you for your time today, John.
Oh, nice.
And I've chewed your ear off, and asked all these questions non-stop. I keep saying I'm going to go, and I never do. I keep asking you more. Speak to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
That was John from Dammit Records. We were the Punk Rock Creators Podcast. Thank you for listening. See you again soon. All right, bye.